All right, the entity is monitoring, and so that's why you see me taking pictures of the phone. When the phone rings, it's audible activity, and they use it. The demonic behavioral pattern is underway by using any means of noise. So in the office, the entity likes to use the phone. And so while they're monitoring what I'm doing on the computer, as I am typing this out, the entity immediately engages in what is calling on the phone, which is audible activity occurring with simultaneity. That's the image, the still image that I took a picture of. This number right here at 12:10 p.m. I did walk out to see if I can get the light source. It's hovering above the venue. It is covered up. And the documentation already shows that the entity is maintaining a light source. And I want you to hear what is, again, this is the entity just using the phone as a means of stalking with audible activity, monitoring. This is also what demons do with regard to what they know I'm doing on the internet. It's monitoring behavior. Okay, this is a part of the criminal surveillance. And what you hear right now is the entity amplifying plain activity while I'm documenting this. The fact that they use the phone in the office, which is harassment by an entity as well. Harassment by an entity that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. This is also speaking to what is monitoring on the venue of the internet in violation of Title 18. All right. And they're doing so on a systematic basis. Like I said, everything that's occurring on a communication device is subject to what is surveillance as well. And with regard to also the pattern of conduct with the entity's group stalking, which is criminal surveillance. All right. It is currently 12 p.m. and I just wanted to document an entity that engages in what is stalking, that is following, occurring with simultaneity to, which is entirely demonic. A demon knows when your hand is in your pocket and you move your finger around in your pocket, nobody can see it because it's in your pocket, but a demon knows, and with simultaneity to the fact that you engage in moving your finger, any slight movement, a demon immediately creates what is a method of noise. As I begin typing onto the computer, federal group stalking and monitoring, because I'm making a new one. I'm going to take pictures of it because the federal government is understanding the systematic engagement in state surveillance and federal stalking is grounds of federal prison. So that's all 59 units that live here and speaker companies, employees, and the vendors that are here, such as Universal Waste Systems, such as Smart Janitorial. The vendors that are arriving on a systematic basis, that's federal prison mandatory. So that's what I'm typing out. And as I start typing this out, the entity uses nothing other than the telephone, which is the means of audible activity in the specific environment. It is also understanding how the people of the state are facilitating the state's government, the state's criminal system. It's not an ongoing series of coincidences. This is what the people of the state do. They do so in the laundry room using, these are demons using the laundry machine, opening and closing. It's just a method of noise. The demons are maintaining an ongoing rhythm. It's literally a soundtrack, a demonic one, with regard to everything the targeted individual is doing. Everything, in addition to what is using the method of a helicopter. And I also want to document the entity engaged in that. As I started writing this out, I decided to I changed my mind and I decided I was going to type it out. And so I want to go ahead and document that as well. That was at 11:51 a.m. The entity sounds helicopter activity, loud clapping of a helicopter outside of the door, while the entity demons are aware of exactly what I'm documenting. As I begin typing it on the communication device, the entity uses the telephone, okay? And the entity that is also monitoring documentation will engage in things such as, they'll just call again when you're doing nothing. And this is the demon's intent to try to contradict, but you cannot contradict the pattern of conduct. You're in the specific environment. You're dealing with a corrupt government that's monitoring documentation, but nonetheless be aware of the pattern. The entity will engage in duplicating that which is identified as their tactic to suggest that that's not a tactic. It just was a coincidence. You're dealing with demons. It's high malice. It is within the well-documented pattern of conduct, and there is no exception to that. I want to document because that's relevant to what is harassment as an entity that's engaged in group stalking. It is currently 12:14 p.m. This is P.O.C.